Welcome to A Shot Between the Reels. My name is Dan, and over on the other side here,
My name is Brendan.
hello there, Brendan.
Hello there, Dan.
How are you today, then, sir?
Yes, I'm well. I'm feeling in a jovial mood.
Ooh,
Yes. And I mean, this is fortunate because we're discussing a jovial film this time round.
it is a comedy.
Mm.
That is correct. Brendan, why don't you tell us what is tonight's film?
Tonight's film, Dan, is Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore,
Yeah.
1996. Adam Sandler, one of his early hits. I
Yeah.
think we would say very popular
I
film
think that's
for
fair. That's fair.
25 years old this year.
Oh my word.
Um,
25.
yeah,
Wow.
I know. All of a sudden, we're both feeling old. There you go. Um, although this is not one that I would have been able to see on its release. I would have been just a tad too young, um, just by a couple of years. I imagine it's a 12, but I haven't checked.
Yeah, so I would have been
Yeah.
a couple of years out myself.
I don't think it's worse than that, but
It can't be.
it can't be.
No.
So Adam Sandler,
Yeah.
he is prolific when it comes to comedy films. I think
Yes.
no one can say that he's lazy in terms
No.
of his work rate. There must be at least like two films a year. I don't know. It feels like it.
Yeah. There's
Um,
there's a lot of Adam Sandler comedies out there for
there
sure.
are,
Yeah.
and they are of varying quality. I think I would like to offer that out as an opinion.
I
What
think
do you think?
I think that's a fair shout. I mean, we've reviewed at least one Adam Sandler comedy on this
We
channel.
have
So we've
QB.
Hubie Halloween, which was his more recent efforts. And so I think this is nice because we've done a more recent one and we're going back to quite an old one.
Going back to the old school.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good. So I think let's go in for a star rating.
Okay.
Brendan, do the honors. Go first.
So I've watched this film quite a lot of times.
Okay.
You, as I understand it, this is your first time seeing this film.
It is my first time
And
again. Yes.
I deliberated because I have never given this film a star rating. So as I was going through it, I was thinking, well, you know, in basis of we've reviewed other comedies and kind of given it a bit of that treatment and kind of said which ones do we consider to be a gold standard. This film makes me laugh a lot. Initially, though, I did look at a slightly lower score, but I settled on 4 stars.
Ooh,
Hmm.
it's 4 stars from Brendan.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you said, first time I've seen this film. I think I might have seen clips of this. I certainly knew it was about golf,
Yep.
and I think I'd seen some of those kind of crazy moments
Yeah.
um, as clips, but never watched the film. So it was fun for me to go and do that, and I gave Happy Gilmore 4 stars.
Hey!
There you go. 2 weeks in a row, Brendan. We've been on the money together.
It's drift compatible. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we're holding hands, running through a meadow of flowers, thinking the same things about films.
Absolutely.
Anyway, yes. So Happy Gilmore. Do you want to just give a very brief, summary of the story for us, Brendan?
Yeah.
I feel like as you describe this, it's definitely a comedy
Yeah.
as
Definitely.
well, because it's generally it's dumb, isn't it? But
Yes.
fun.
Yeah. For
So
sure. So your main crux is that you have Happy Gilmore, and he feels that he was born to play hockey, except he can't skate worth anything, anything on the ice.
yeah,
So it's ice hockey that he loves, but he can't actually kind of skate. And then you see him kind of growing up in his life, but as the main crux of the story is what's happening, he's lived with his grandma since he was little, and as he grows up, moves away from his grandma, but she is having her house repossessed because she hasn't paid her taxes for years. And then he discovers, or they discover at least through challenging him to hit a golf ball, and he thinks golfing is just rubbish in general, that he can perform ridiculously long drives, so like more than 400-yard drives, just really, really easily.
Yes. For those who don't know anything about golf, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's mental. And so they, through then a series of events, in order to get the money together to buy back the house for grandma, he goes on golf tournaments and ridiculous comedy ensues until end point for him to win championship, get all money, and then pay off house.
Get the house back, and that was the house that his granddad had built, wasn't it? So
with bare hands.
Yeah, he just keeps saying he built it with his bare hands. Yes. Yeah. So Happy's one skill at ice hockey is like that power hit, which he can convert into the golf drive.
Yeah.
Seemingly.
Yeah.
He also has this rivalry, doesn't he, with Shooter
McGavin. Yeah.
Who's the world number one, seemingly, at golf and favourite for all the tournaments.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he's very good as like this kind of bad guy. Yeah, easy to hate and laugh at.
I mean, he plays the role of the dick, really.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, so for me, I actually noticed the first time I had a proper laugh in this film was in that opening credits. So that's always a good start. If you can get a laugh in those opening moments, you kind of have this montage sequence of Happy narrating his life to get you up to the point of where the film starts.
Yeah.
And you kind of have this very sort of sweet thing about his dad kind of wanting him to be an ice hockey player and loving ice hockey. To the point where I chuckled at the bit where his mum and his dad's wife just leaves.
Yeah.
He's not. He just doesn't even acknowledge her because he's watching ice hockey on the telly.
Yeah.
Okay. And then like pretty much the next
waves in front of his face.
Yeah.
You can see it.
And then like pretty much the next moment they're at an ice hockey game and the stray ice hockey puck kills his dad. But it's just the way like he doesn't say that my dad died. That you see kind of this happen. And then the next line is after the funeral. Just really good.
Flash forward.
After the funeral. Yeah, so it's just from that point on I thought, okay, yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this. And I enjoyed it all the way through. I think it's dumb, but it's fun and there's lots of great moments.
For sure. I mean, I think it's got some quite cheesy moments, but they're never. It's kind of. I think it's hitting more than it's ever missing. If we're going to use that sort of analogy for a film that's about hitting targets, but I think it has some brilliant performances from a lot of different actors that are coming in, even if they're doing small parts. I think.
I mean, let's throw it out there. Obviously, Adam Sandler's great, but the person who steals this film has to be Carl Weathers.
He's the man of the match, as it were.
Yeah, we'll give him that honour.
Yeah,
man of the match performance. I mean, he's just so funny. He's got this wooden prosthetic hand, which keeps on getting broken.
Please tell me you noticed the fact that the arm is like so much longer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's pretty clear that Carl Weathers is holding it and he's just got an extra long sleeve. I mean, it's really obvious, isn't it? Because at one point he's standing there with his hands out. I mean, from the side, you can see it.
Like,
but that's part of the charm, isn't it? Because it's so dumb. I think probably the moment where I lost it with Carl Weathers was the moment where he's all dressed in white and singing that song. Obviously, he's dead at this point, and
Yeah.
Happy's kind of having this kind of moment. That I just would lost it at that point.
When he's like, "Don't worry about me. I got my hand back. See."
Yeah, and he's playing this grand piano, all dressed in like this white tux.
There's definitely quite a lot of moments with Carl Weathers, basically all of them, that are really funny. But I love I love the bit where he knocks off Chubb's hand and it like rolls into the road, and he says, "Oh, don't worry." He's like relentlessly positive about everything. He's like, "Don't worry about that. It's real sturdy, made of wood." And he gets repeatedly run over by a massive truck, just smashed to bits.
It's just how like the scenes like after that he's like gluing it together. Then immediately it gets crushed by Happy's handshake. It's like, what? Yeah, I mean it's dumb, but it's just so funny, and yeah, brilliant. And because he kind of acts as like a strange father figure, it's just weird. It's just weird, but it works so well.
It's really brilliant because their interactions feel they feel kind of odd, but it really works. I don't know.
The other character that I loved was, and I think he probably only has like 2 lines maybe. It's the caddy that he has when he's on the pro tour, where he literally just gets a homeless person who shouldn't be there and does things like picking up the coin. And at the end where he's placing the cracker down to use it as a placeholder for the ball, just incredible. And when he's having a bath in one of the water hazards.
It's all like physical comedy for him, isn't it? And it's so
good,
well done. And obviously, I feel like there has to be a clear mention to one of the best scenes, in my opinion, at least.
Do it.
It's the Bob Barker fight, which is
yeah,
is honestly, I feel like that has not been topped in terms of another Adam Sandler film, them doing something quite so mental and ridiculous.
It is mental and ridiculous.
And their lines between
the dialogue, isn't it? Yeah. It's a great fight.
You know, now you're gonna get it, Bobby. And go after him.
It's like how he's just like putting him down the whole time. And then obviously it just like tips over the edge, doesn't it? Yeah.
What was it that
the price
Bob says? I don't want a piece. I want the whole thing.
That's such amazing dialogue. Do you know, I kind of knew it was coming as well. You could just, the way it was acted, you knew that as soon as he said, "You want a piece of me," you just knew that was going to be the response. But it didn't matter because, like, the way he says it is so good.
Is there also, I think, you know, the over-the-top punching sounds? They always, for some reason, it always gets me. It always makes me laugh.
Yeah, because you know that those sounds they're not there. They're added in after.
Yeah.
Yes, quite. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. I mean,
yeah.
Being that this is brand new for you, so which I was really excited about because I thought, man, I would love to watch this film from a fresh perspective. And also knowing how old it is, do you feel it's aged well?
Yeah, I mean, there were moments where it felt quite nice watching something from the 90s.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen a comedy that was from that time, and there was even a couple of moments where the soundtrack, I was like, oh, this sounds a bit like a Dumb and Dumber soundtrack. I wanted to check if it was a similar person doing the music, but I think it's just because obviously it's the music of that time. You know, there's only a few years between them. So yeah, I was kind of like, oh yeah, like this is a 90s film. So obviously some of the clothes, I mean, one of the things that I have to say that I absolutely loved in this film was the Subway advert. Absolutely incredible. It's probably one of the best moments in the film. Yeah, where it looks like he's got about 10 T's down in the ground to be able to hit a subway, and it goes in the guy's mouth. Just so good.
Yeah, I love that. Talk about a hole in one.
Yeah, just not good, but brilliant, absolute genius.
Obviously, there. I thought what's interesting about this, because you watch them the other way around, is there are callbacks in Hubie Halloween
Yeah.
characters from this film because
Yeah, you got
it's old enough. So
yeah.
you have Ben Ben Stiller's character who does make a reappearance in Hubie Halloween. If I'm correct, I think I'm correct about that.
Yeah, he's in the start. Yeah.
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 And all of his bits again, he properly steals the show whenever he's.
You kind of want more of Ben Stiller, don't you? Really, in that. Sometimes, I'll be honest. There are times with Ben Stiller films where I think, oh, really, I get a bit not always a fan. I'll be honest, but in that one, yeah, you almost wanted more. You definitely wanted more. Kind of him like basically abusing his power. Elderly people. It's just like what? Oh god, yeah.
Pay him out to be a true monster. It's pretty fantastic.
No, the other thing that's interesting with Hubie Halloween, the other connection, is the love interest. It's the same actress.
It is.
And what I find really strange, because Julie Bowen is in Modern Family. Have you seen Modern Family?
I have, yeah. I watched it all. Yeah.
So yeah, so have we. And she looks so different.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's like since when Modern Family started, there's probably over 10 years gap.
Yes. I think that's probably fair, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
Modern Family was on the air for what, 10? Was it 10 years?
About 10 years, wasn't it? So I think it's kind of around 2010-ish. It must have started maybe just before. And so we're talking best part of 15 years. And so that was really distracting. I was like, gosh, she looks really different. She looks so young. So I had to put that to one side. But yeah, I just really enjoyed this film. There's a lot of humor in it, lots of great moments. And if you like your comedy dumb, you can't go wrong with this film.
Yeah, really agreed. I just think all it concentrates on, it doesn't care. It doesn't really care about the story. It has a story that makes sense, but it's just a platform for them to plow as many stupid, either physical humor or just generally jokes in as they possibly can. I mean, I love him learning to putt.
Yeah.
Having like a crazy golf place and getting so angry.
So angry, yeah.
He's just like knocking down signs and people like really disapproving, like playing with their kids.
Yeah.
And these moments now, because the film is so old, I think they're almost like baked into pop culture a little bit. So a lot of people will have heard about them naturally.
Yeah.
I just think they're.
I think a lot of the time with these Adam Sandler's his comedy films, he seems to get great actors come in and do cameos. They clearly like end up just being his mates, and so often they're like some of the best things in the films that he does.
Yeah,
the casting of Carl Weathers. I mean, Apollo Creed. He's just phenomenal as Apollo Creed, and in effect, that's more or less quite a straight role in Rocky.
Yeah,
and he's so like I've seen Carl Weathers in quite a few things. Obviously, he's in The Mandalorian, and he's directing in The Mandalorian as well, and brilliant. And seeing this side of him is great. It's great fun.
I know, it's really. I mean, obviously, if you want to see something else where Carl Weathers is particularly funny, he's also in Arrested Development, only for a few episodes or so. But again, one of those things wherever he's on screen, instantly steals the show. I think it's because it's one of those things where he's like you're saying, he is a caliber of actor. He's definitely got kind of gravitas behind him, and so to put him in a comedy role, and we spoke about it in other comedy reviews, people turning their hand to comedy, where you would just think, this person normally plays straight roles, and you wouldn't necessarily think that it would be something that would work for them. Like Jeff Daniels being that prime example in Dumb and Dumber, he
Yeah,
doesn't. You never, I think most people wouldn't even think of him as a comedy actor. He wouldn't talk about himself as a comedy actor. And to act alongside someone that is so prolific in comedy,
yeah,
it is amazing that he held his own so well. And it just goes to show, I think people can so easily surprise you still. And
yeah,
Carl Weathers he is such a standout performance in this film. He's
yeah.
great. He's
He
instantly
is. He's
funny. And
brilliant.
there's a lot of quotable moments that
Mm,
come off basically every part that he's
yeah,
in.
it definitely left me feeling like we need more Carl Weathers, just in everything. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I know he does quite a bit of telly, but man, the guy's so good.
It's all right. You can have him show up for some more Mandalorian. I'm not.
Yeah, we want him in the Mandalorian, but he should have his own spin-off film. Come on, let's start a campaign on Twitter.
Yeah, give me the backstory to this film. I want the Chubbs prequel film.
Chubb's prequel. Yeah, the one where he fights with the alligator.
The alligator. Damn alligator bit my hand off.
Got me down in my prime. Yeah.
That also has one of the best retort lines in the film, which is, "You're pretty sick, Chubbs."
Yeah, indeed.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. It makes me very happy.
Yeah, and it's obviously it's a ringing endorsement from us at Shop Between the Wheels. Go and watch this if you haven't, like me, you haven't seen it. Go for it.
Absolutely.
If you've just been sitting and listening to the whole this just to hear me say that, and maybe you don't need to watch it. But it's quite short as well, which I love.
Yeah, I think that's a positive.
The sweet spot for comedy is 90 minutes.
Yeah,
Thereabouts, Anything
really.
beyond that, it's got to be really funny. Yeah, very good. So, I think that's it for this week, Brendan.
I think so. Yeah.
Do we want to let people know what we're going to watch next week? Shall we let them into a secret?
We can.
Next week, we are going to review Disney Pixar. It was Pixar, wasn't it? Their most recent release on Disney Plus, Soul. Came out Christmas Day, didn't it?
It did.
Yes. I haven't seen more than a minute of it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a fresh one for me. You've seen bits of it?
I have, yeah. So I have watched it,
really
but with the kids. I feel like I got a lot of it, but I'm keen to go in with a fresh kind of look at it without anyone else really around and just watch it alone. Because I do feel that the film needs to be enjoyed in that way. As much as I love the children, not always easy to watch films.
No. They always want food and stuff like that.
I want another snack, Daddy.
Yeah, exactly. More snacks. That's what I get. Yeah, well, there we go. So, next week.
Yeah.
Be there, be square. Yes, this is another week done for us. Brendan, it's been an absolute pleasure, as always.
Always done.
Love you, my brother.
I got nothing but love for you, my friend. Nothing but love.
Cool. Here we go. It's goodbye, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.